All right, shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all praise to Abanawi Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Yahweh Kakodash, the Bronze Beats, elders and apostles of the millstone who are taught to share peace, much love, and salutations of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Americans, all the church of Israel, according to the Bible, how times we got to see. Year 2022, hasten the day to come, Lord Yahweh Shai. In this video, is understanding the spirit, understanding the spirit and the flesh. Okay, and I'm gonna get this kind of. Hold on, please. We're gonna start Romans the 7th chapter, and we're gonna eat the whole Romans 7th chapter, Romans the 8th chapter, Galatians the 5th chapter, and Ephesians 4th chapter, and whatever the spirit hits me with, we'll go from there. Let me just see this real quick before I start. Okay, down. So this is Romans 7:1. Now ye know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law with dominion over a man as long as he lives. Now Paul speaks to the Israelites because we understand this. You know that Paul speaks to the Israelites because the Israelites were the only ones given the law such as justified by the Most High. And when you read that, let me go ahead, grab it real fast. Just to make clear, this Romans chapter 10. I'm gonna get 10 in this Romans 10. I'm gonna get 5. Romans 10 and 5. Moses discerneth the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth these things shall live by them. And that's just Moses gave the Israelites the law. And just to go further, let me go back to Deuteronomy, the first chapter. Real fast. Let's Deuteronomy 101. To clear it up. Because those that know the law are only Israelites, not the whole world. This is Deuteronomy chapter 1. And Deuteronomy chapter 1. And verse 1. So this is Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words which Moses spoke unto all Israel on this side Jordan, in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea between Paran, Tabo, Lebanon, and Hazarah, and Yazim. It's lucky for those words, a little tough to say. Verse 3. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spoke unto the children of Israel, according unto all the Lord had given him, and command unto him, which was the law, the statute, judgment of the Most High. Okay, that's what people got. Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, all those contain a lot of laws that what we are and not to do, because the Most High only gave laws unto Israel. That's what Paul was saying. That's why Paul said, now know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he lives with the Israelites. But also he was speaking to also this time too. He was also speaking to the Israelites that knew they were Israelites, which were in Rome, because you had Israelites who knew they were Israelites in Rome, which also had Israelites that didn't know who they were, that were ignorant to the fact that they were Israelites. Okay. Let's clear these things up to clarify, make it more understandable. This is Romans 7:2. For the woman which having husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. Wherefore, my brethren, ye also become dead to the law by the body of Mashiach, that ye should be married to another, even to him who is raised up from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto the Most High, as Yahweh. Because when Yahweh came on the scene, his whole entire objective of the mission was to give himself up a sacrifice for his people, which were the Israelites, right? And to deliver us from sin, which was the law. Because through Yahweh we now have grace. We don't have grace through Yahweh because he did what he did. He sacrificed himself up, the ultimate sacrifice at once. Just speak about that too. Him doing it all at once. Okay, he sacrificed himself for our sins all at once. Okay, he did it all at once. So now all we have to do is pray in His name, and all sins are forgiven because Yahushua gave Himself up for Israel, for our sins, for our iniquities and our wickedness. Okay, that's what Scripture say. Through His wounds we are healed. Okay, through Him being stricken, we're healed. I think it's Isaiah 50 chapter speaks about that. Okay, but when we were in the flesh, the motion of sin, which were by the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruits unto death in the flesh, which was the old man. Before you knew about the truth, before you knew Yahushua, before you came into the knowledge, you was once in the flesh, which were the things of the world, which was the mindset of the world. Okay, that's the flesh, which is opposite against the Most High. That's what the flesh is. Okay, but the spirit is walking in the lost, statutes and judgment of the Most High. The dusty of you. That's being the spirit. Being in the flesh is doing the things of the world, minding things of the world. You know, for when we were in the flesh, right, in the Gentile state of mind, right, going against the laws of the Most High. When we were in the flesh, the motion of sin, which were by the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death. But now we are delivered from the law, that being dead, wherein we were held, that we should strive in newness of spirit, and not in the oldness of the letter. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? The Most High forbid? Nay, I had not known sin but by the law, for I had not known lust except the law had said, Thou shalt not covet. But sin taketh occasion by the commandments, without in me all manner of concupiscence. For without the law, sin was dead. For I was alive without the law once, but when the commandment came, sin revealed, and I died. Because why? You ain't no sin unless the law said such and such. That's why you're not supposed to eat pork. There's people like that. That's part of the law. Okay, so you wouldn't know to do those things unless the law didn't say that. Okay. Verses 10. In the commandment which was ordained to life, I found to be unto death. For sin taketh occasion by the commandments, deceiveth me, and by it slew me. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandments holy, and just and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? The Most High forbid. But sin, that it might appear, sin worketh death in me. But that which is good, that sin by the commandment might be. Exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, so under sin. So Paul said we know that the law is spiritual, right? Because law is a spiritual thing. This is a heavenly order. It's a heavenly ordinance. Because when the Most High gave Moses the laws, it was from the Most High. It was spiritual. Because the Most High is a spiritual being. So these laws are very spiritual. That's why Paul was saying, hey, I have not known sin but through the law. Because the sin came in by the law. Because if the Lord tells me I don't eat pork, can't eat pork, but I go eat pork, I didn't want to eat pork unless I was told not to. Unless I did the complete opposite. That's how you know sin is, by doing the complete opposite of what the Most High tell you to do. That's how sin came into the world, through the law. But we also made imperfect, because the law was so spiritual. It was a heavenly order from the Most High, that us being in His flesh and these corrupted bodies, that we can't keep the law 100%. That's why Yahushua came and gave Himself up for sacrifice for Israel, because the Most High knew that we're not going to be perfect, that we're not going to get 100% right until we get changed, until we have a new type of body, be able to keep the laws 100% and perfectly. Right? That's why the Most High sent Yahushua too, because we were imperfect. But the Most High made us imperfect for His own purposes. Okay? So 7 and 14. For we know, the scriptures also say that a creature goeth off, sinneth not willingly, but by him that reasoneth. So we don't want to go off, but it's because we're sold unto sin, unto this flesh, That's the reason why we know sin because of the flesh, and because the law saith this and that. Okay, verse 7 and 14. But we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, so none the sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would that I do, not but what I hate that I do. Exactly, because why? Because the flesh. You see, you're in the flesh. That's why you have to fight the flesh with the spirit. See, because how is that? The spirit is the law of the Most High, doing the will of the Most High, following the laws and commandments of the Heavenly Father and the Son. That's the spirit. Okay, but the flesh doing things opposite of that. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would that I do, not but what I hate that I do. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me that is like it. For I know that in me that is in my flesh dwelleth no good thing, because the flesh is wicked, it's corrupt. It's corrupt, it was made corrupt. That's why you get different thoughts, weird ass thoughts. Because the flesh is made corruptible. Okay? For I know that in me, that in my flesh dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would go I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of the Most after the inward man, it's a spiritual man. But I see another law in my member, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my member, which is flesh. Because at the end of the day, it's a spiritual fight. Your spirit is fighting against your flesh. Okay, the spirit is fighting against the flesh. And how do you fight against the flesh? Like I said again, by walking in laws that you do the Most High. Doing as the Most High said, because if you do anything opposite of the Lord, you're not in the flesh. The Lord tell you don't you that's of the flesh. See, there's many other examples to make points on this, but just to hit the quick on the most easiest point, like say homosexuality, right? Those things are the flesh. You can fight that, you can resist that, but you choose not to. That's of the flesh. But being in the spirit is not doing those things. Doing the things that the Most High tell you to walk in. The scripture say Enoch walked with the Most High. It means he walked with the lost of his devil, so Enoch was in the spirit, but he's with the Most High. Yahweh Shah was in the spirit because he did the will of the Father. Okay? Verse 22. Well, 22. For I delight in the law of the Most High after the inward man, but I see another law in my member warring against the mommy going down. 24. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? And that's it. So we live from the body of death because Paul understood and knew that these bodies that we have are corruptible. That's they're made to sin, they're made to go off. Okay, they were made for us. We were designed to be wicked at the end of the day. That's why the Most High set it up like that for us to resist the flesh and for us to fall to the spirit. For oh wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I think the Most High through Yahweh Mashiach, our Lord. So then, with the mind I myself serve the law of the Most High, but with the flesh, the law of sin. See, Paul said himself, I think the Most High through Yahweh Mashiach, our Lord. So then, with the mind I myself serve the law of the Most High, but with the flesh, the law of sin. I think the Most High I think Yahweh through Yahweh Mashiach, our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of the Most High. With the flesh, the law of sin. That's it. So when you have to serve the Most High, you have the law of the Most High. You watch your judgments. But with the flesh, the law of sin. So when you go after the flesh, you do the things of the world. You go off the wickedness. You might commit adultery. You might hit a blood. You might do certain things that are pleasing to the flesh more than things that are of the spirit. See? Because see, the things of the spirit will allow you to not do those things. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna commit adultery. You're not gonna be homosexual. You're not gonna be homosexual. You're not gonna get a tattoo. You're gonna walk in the spirit of the Heavenly Father and do His law, His judgment. That's walking in the spirit. Okay? And anything else contrary to that is of the flesh. This is Romans chapter 8 in verses 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach, who walk not after the flesh, after the spirit, which is walking in the lost judgments of Yahweh Shah, as Yahweh Shah, because Yahweh Shah kept the laws perfectly. Okay? For the law of the spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahweh Shah that made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Most High sending His own Son in likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin commanded sin in the flesh, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is peace and life. So to be carnally minded is death, because what does a carnal mind bring? Nothing but death, nothing but sin. Okay? Because when you go back to Adam and Eve, when you read about that, let me go ahead and grab that. Anyone. The second chapter. So the second Ezra, I believe it's 7. I don't know if it's 7 or not. Let me get second no, let me get second Ezra 2. There's 2 2. Or is it 3? Let me get the second Ezra chapter 3, verse 1. O Lord, how bearest rule thou speakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commanded the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thy hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, which was his law, statutes, judgments. Then Adam was walking in the spirit, because the Most High gave him the knowledge and the understanding of how to please him, on how to do what's right. And that was only given to Israel, and that's only given to a specific seed line, which was the chosen seed line. And thou ladest him into paradise, which was Garden Eden, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandments to love thy ways. So the Lord gave him commandments to love his ways. And unto him thou gavest him commandments to love thy way, which he transgressed. And now Adam is going into the flesh. Because once the Most High gave him the way to go, the way to be, Adam chose the things of the flesh, which was to follow his wife, because his wife was in the flesh. His wife was in the flesh. She was dwelling in the flesh when the serpent came, that I was a man, and seduced her to make her go contrary of what the Most High taught Adam. And went against what Adam taught Eve, that the Most High gave to Adam, and Adam gave it to Eve. But Eve broke that and made a covenant with the devil, which was, we can refer back to the spirit of so-called the deceiver. And then Adam went follow his wife and transgressed the laws of the Most High, which was the spirit of the Most High. And now he ended up walking into the flesh, doing contrary what the Most High wanted to do, which was anything that was contrary what the Most High wanted. So now Adam ended up walking into the flesh. And unto him thou gavest commandments to love thy way, which he transgressed. Immediately thou appointed death in him, and in his generation, of whom come nations, tribes, people, kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will, and that's of the flesh. They walked after their own will. They did what they wanted to do. They didn't want to do what the Most High wanted to do. They want to do what they wanted to do. Same thing with Jacob and Wood. That's why when you read about it, when Moses went up, I think it's Deuteronomy 9:6 or 6 and 9. I think it's 9 and 6 or 9. When Moses went up to go to the Lord, because the Lord said I would deal with Moses face to face, which is spirit to spirit, right? Because the Lord was dealing with Moses through the spirit. And when Moses went up to get lost in judgment for the Most High, Israel, the so-called Negroes, like the Americans, they were going off making they asked they told Aaron to make them a god. Aaron told them take all the golden earrings you have, and they made a bull, and it was dancing with it, praising it. That was after the flesh. They did contrary what the Most wanted to do. So it tells you right here, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number, and every people walked after their own will, and did willfully things before thee, and despised thy commandments. And again, I perceive the time thou breedest the flood upon one of those that dwelt in the world, and destroys them. And it came to pass in every of them that as the death was to Adam, so was the flood to those nevertheless. One of them, nevertheless, or one of them thou lovest, but that leftest, namely Noah. And it's going to why when the whole flood, when the Most High destroyed the earth at one point in time without water, because the man was wicked as fuck. People were doing what they wanted. People walk off after their own will. They were feeling the lust of the flesh of their own will. That's why America is so fucking wicked. Because what is the main slogan for America, or what the so funny pushes out? Do as thy will. Do what you want. Do as thy will. See, do as thy will. Whatever thy heart desires, do it. But to see, you not knowing that the mind, scripture says that the mind is just really wicked. So your mind gonna come with all type of shit for you to do because it's wicked. It's so undeceiving. That's why we have the scriptures, the spirit, which is the laws, to fight against that, to combat those wicked thoughts, to combat those wicked ideas and inventions. See, that's just between the spirit and the flesh. The flesh are the things that are against the Most High, and the spirit are the things that are with the Most High. And if you're not doing things of the Most High, that means you're in the flesh. And if you're in the flesh, you're now at enmity with the Most High. See, that's what you say. The Most High has enmity. That's why the Most High says the carnal mind is enmity with him. He has a problem with those that walk in the carnal mind because they're not doing the will of what the Most High wants them to do. Especially if you're an Israelite. Especially if you are the direct seed of one of the tribes of the children of Israel. Okay. Now this is Romans 8:1. There is therefore now. Let me go to 2. The law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua, which made me free from the law of sin, of death, made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do is that it was weak through the flesh, and the Most High sending His own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh. For sin commanded sin in the flesh. It's like the Son in likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Because why? Those are the ones that are doing the will of the Most High, okay? That are trying to. So they walk in the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. See, but they are other flesh. They mind things of the flesh, so it don't bother them to be homosexual. It don't bother them to smoke a couple blunts every day. That don't bother them because they're in the flesh. Because they're not doing the will of the Most High. They rather do their own thing. They rather serve their own brothers and serve the Most High. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. So they that are after the Spirit, hey, we care about what we do. We monitor what we do. We don't do certain things. We're not going to do certain things because why? We're going to walk in the Spirit of the Yahushua. We're also going to walk in the law, statutes, and judgments of our power. That's the difference. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life. Now, because why? Because Adam was being so, like, going back to Adam. Adam is the best example when we're breaking down just between the spirit and the flesh. Because now, if Adam was walking in the spirit, he would have rebuked his wife Eve and had the Most High, and he would have corrected her, and we wouldn't deal with the situation that we have right now. But because Adam chose the flesh, he chose the carnal mind, which was formed after his wife, because his wife was in the carnal mind. And now look what's happening to the world now today. It's full of sin, it's full of deceit, wickedness, unrighteousness, all types of shit's going on in this world. Because why? One decision that one man made, which all men fell through his mistake. What scripture clearly say that? Okay, let me find that scripture. I think it's let me see. I know it's second, but it's somewhere. Yeah. So this 2 Ezra 7 and 46. 7 is 46. I answered and said, "This is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for a man now in this present time to live in heaviness and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For it was thou that sinned. Thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. And that's it. So through all that come of thee, we've all fallen because why? Adam fall the lust of the flesh, fall his wife. Because his wife was in the flesh. Instead of falling through the spirit, which is the spirit, was just like, hold up, you going to fuck off. A Yahweh, you gotta get Eve. She done went over here she went over to the other nations. She done went over and did some other shit she wasn't supposed to do. She done transgressed your laws and your judgment. How woman would you want me to do her? Most got rid of her fucking ass and gave him a new one. This is verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. They that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life. Because the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. That's why the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High, because it's opposite what the Most High wants. Okay, it's whatever your heart desires that's not of the Lord. That's the problem with the most. That's why the most is the problem with a lot of niggas, because niggas rather do what they want to do, which is the carnal mind rather than serve the Most High. That's the problem. That's why the Most High is an enmity with the carnal mind, because the carnal mind tells you do what the fuck you want. Oh no, I ain't getting no. I ain't serving the Lord. No, I ain't doing that. I'm doing what I want to do. That's why it's carnal mind. That's why, because the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. The Most High can't stand niggas that are in the carnal mindset that don't want to do His will. That's the problem. So because the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High, against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the power, neither indeed can be. It's not because the mind, he ain't gonna do it. He not gonna do what the Most High want him to do. He's not gonna do the will of the Most High. He's not gonna follow. He's not gonna serve the Lord. You don't give a fuck. The people that are carnal mindset, they don't care about the Most High. They don't worry about serving the Lord. They give a fuck right. Lord tell them don't eat pork, they do any goddamn way. Lord tell them don't eat sugar, crab, lobster, they do any goddamn way. Lord say don't be homosexual, they gonna do any goddamn way. Right? Lord say love your neighbor as thyself, they gonna do the complete opposite. They gonna hate their neighbor. Lord say they commit adultery. How many niggas you know that fuck each other's girls? Oh, she's bad, bro. She look good, too. That's why they're after the flesh, bro. But a spiritual be like, hell no, man, I ain't fuck with your woman, no. See, that's the difference. But the carnal mind they don't give a fuck because they don't mind, because they don't care. And they can't be subject unto the Lord because they don't want to be subject to the Most High. That's what the Lord won't get rid of them niggas. But anyway, verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Lord, cannot please the Most High. Exactly. Because it's against the laws of the Heavenly Father. That's why. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Mashiach, he is none of his. And if Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness and sin. See, the body is dead, but the spirit is not. Because, like I said again, when you walk into the spirit of the Lord, you have no everlasting life because you're going to receive the kingdom, the rewards of walking in with doing the will of the Most High. You now get the rewards of the perks that come with following after the Lord. That's what we're going to forever. We're going to be in the spirit because we're in the spirit because Yahweh Shai did what ultimately he did. But by us trying to apply these laws to our life and walking right with the Most High, we're now going to receive a reward for that and doing the will of the Most High also too. Let me keep. Let me go. Let me jump. I mean, this is good. This is good too. But I want to kind of get Galatians 5th chapter. It's Galatians 5 and so I think it was like 20. Thank you. So this Galatians. Oh, let me get this too. Yeah, I mean this Galatians 5 is good too, but All right, let's go 5:13. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for one's occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit. So let's read this again. This I say, then walk in the spirit. So you should walk in the spirit. You shouldn't be walking in the flesh. See, you shouldn't walk in. You should walk in the spirit, which is walking in the law, statutes, judgment of the Most High. That's the spirit, doing the will of the Lord, making sure your walk is correct with you and the Lord. That's the spirit. That's walking in the spirit. Okay, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of which now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. That's it. So now if you're walking in the ways of the Lord, you're not gonna do the fucking will of the flesh. See, it's simple. A lot of people don't understand the difference between the spirit and the flesh. They get it twisted. They think it's like, I don't know, but it's not. It's not what you think it is. It's just being contrary of what the Lord wants you to do. That's the flesh, and the spirit is the things doing the will of the Lord. That's the difference. Being spiritual, when people think in their brains like some fucking, action like you got connected with the stars, moon, and you can. Man, it's not with that. Nah, any nah, like some the zodiac shit. Nah, ain't got nothing to do with that. Nah, ain't nothing to do with that zodiac shit and all that. In touch with my inner side and all that. You know, extra ass shit. No, ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just simple to the point. Scripture said that all the Most High said that all let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. The Most High is simple. Being spiritual is walking in the ways of the Lord. That's it. That's being spiritual because the Most High is spiritual. So if you walk in the laws of the Most High, it makes you spiritual because the Most High is spiritual and the Most High laws are spiritual. So if you're doing the will of the Most High, that makes you not spiritual. But if you are against that, or if you're doing opposite of that, that makes you a carnal individual. You're in the flesh. Because you got a lot of people that think they're spiritual, but they're not. I don't know what the fuck they be thinking they're going. Anyway, for all the law fulfilled in one word, even this thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That's in the law. Okay? That's being spiritual. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. This I say, then walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law of what? Sin, which is of the flesh. Now, you're no longer under the flesh, because you're under the law of what? Of the spirit, which is Yahweh Shai, which is adopted in Yahweh Shai. Which also, you are now delivered from the law because you now adopted Yahweh Shai. Because the Yahweh Shai is our grace period. Okay? But now, the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, right? So these are the things that the flesh come with. These are contrary to the law of the Lord. So Paul's telling you what the fuck the flesh is. People miss these points, man. I don't know what the hell y'all niggas be doing. Idolatry, witchcraft, haters, Vince. Let me get this word. Hold on. What's that? Verb. Sorry. Vengeance. his visions. We'll make sure. Okay, variance. Okay. Okay, variance, emanations, wrath, strife, seduction, hearers, Salakia, envying, murderers, drunkenness, revelings, and such like of that which I tell you before, as I have also told you, in past, in past, in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And that's it. So they that are in the spirit or have those or doing those things, they're not gonna inherit the kingdom of the Most High, because why? They're of the flesh. Okay, and that's why when you read this now, which was the old man, and then also the flesh goes back to the old man as well too, because when you was in the world, you didn't know the truth, you was doing those things, but the Lord woke you up. So now you're not walking in the spirit because you have now adopted Yahweh Shai back into your life. So now you're now in the spirit because you're trying to walk in the laws, statutes, and judgments of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Okay, I'm gonna look at this last scripture and I'm gonna close out on that. Oh wait, no, I had 4 and what? I had 4 and something. Let me go. Oh yeah, it's 4:21. No, it's 4:21. Yeah, it's Ephesians 4:21. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, that ye put off concerning the formal conversation, the old man, which is corrupt, according to the deceitful lust. That's the flesh. That's the flesh, the old man. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind, which is coming back to what? Who you are. Coming back to your nationality, coming back to the truth, coming back to Yahweh Shai returning. And that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and truth and holiness. So the new man is what? Walking in the laws of the Most High, doing the will of the Lord. That's being in the spirit. Okay? Wherefore putting away lying, speaking every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. And that's it. That's the scripture. Paul is breaking it down, telling you the difference between the two. And this First Corinthians. This is Colossians 3 and this is Colossians 3 and 10. And have let me make sure I chose the right one. Okay, Colossians 3 and 10. And ye have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. We have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. Which is what? Yahweh Shai. Okay, we are what now? We are now what? Renewed in the spirit. So, and we have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. So, we're now in the image of Yahweh Shai. So with that, that's the last scripture I had. And I pray that was edifying to hopefully let. And that's one of the all praise goes on to now Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. With that, shalom.